Hello, and welcome to the Girl in the Tiara blog. This post is titled Origin Story. This post explains who I am and what I'm doing with this site. It's dark, like espresso or MAC's smolder eyeliner, but I can't explain what brought me here without it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, though, and it's not just the sparkle of a tiara. It's you, here, now, listening to this post. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Since 2008, I've written 10 books and published 9 of them. What have I learned from this process? That I'm a f***ing idiot. I turned 41 this August. So far, all it means is that every day I've spent in the sun is now visible on my face. I'm older, but no wiser. In many ways, I feel dumber than I've ever felt in my whole life. Like Jon Snow, I know nothing. Like Socrates, I know that the only true wisdom consists of knowing that I know nothing. Life has not turned out like I thought it would. For starters, my books make no money. You might think I'm kidding, but I'm not. Add up what I make per month with 9 books and 1 box set on 5 digital platforms, and you get the title of a Smashing Pumpkins song. The worst part is that I know why things are so bad. It's because I made every mistake in the book, as well as outside the book, the box, and any other metaphorical spatial designations intended to limit one's ability to make such mistakes. Nope, I blew through them like a homecoming team through butcher paper. Book publishing has made me lose my ever-loving mind. It has taken a hatchet to my self-esteem. I used to think I was good at it. I don't anymore. There are a handful of people I'm not related to who appreciate what I write, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart. Jan, Nancy, Diane, Carmen, Mike, Annette, Amanda, Jen, this is for you. But up until a year ago, I was still dumb enough to think I was that snowflake whose career would magically catch fire just because her books were good. Let me be the first to tell you that it doesn't matter whether your book is good. That is a brick wall I have dashed my brains against for 10 years now. It helps if your book is good. But there is no controlling force in the universe that will see your book, realize the quality of your prose or how hard you worked, and adjust the scales of fortune to reward you accordingly. If you think I'm lying, you'll find out soon enough. I've aced every writing class I've ever taken. I've won national contests for fiction and nonfiction. I've placed in international contests. I get paid to write professionally. Every teacher I've ever had has told me I can do this, sometimes better than anyone else they've ever taught. I can write, folks. But guess what? It doesn't matter. No one f***ing cares. The Romanov legacy was rejected by more than 150 agents. A Vampire in Versailles racked up at least that many rejections, and that was in the Twilight era when everyone and their grandma could sell a vampire novel. Except me. The Cherbourg Jewels, written in 3 weeks as my first ever attempt at a romance novel, won a Daphne du Maurier Award from the Romance Writers of America. It was rejected by 20 agents and at least 1 department of Harlequin. I stopped sending it out after that. Finally, I took a page from Little Women and Shakespeare. I looked in my heart, fool, and wrote. The result was the most real, the most painful, and the most authentic book I've ever written, The Red Road. No one cared. I racked up at least 200 rejections for that one. I gave up after that. Or, to be more accurate, I gave up on getting an agent and a traditional book deal. By then, I'd discovered self-publishing. With renewed fervor, I wrote, and I revised, and I published. I made book trailers, which is super fun. I ran ads on Facebook and Amazon, which is hell on earth. I created a media kit and reached out to local papers and reviewers. I sent press releases. I did blog tours. I bought those expensive courses. I read those how to market a book books. I got a book bub. I got a mailing list. I gave away tens of thousands of copies of my best work. I joined giveaway groups. I wrote a series. I tried different genres. I f***ed with covers and titles and prices and keywords and categories using software that was supposed to help. It didn't. I listened in agony to other writers tell podcasters that all they did was change the foreign prices on their books to something ending in 49 or 99 and watched sales start to build across the globe. I did that too, and nothing happened. I did what everyone else told me to do for 5 years, and nothing worked for me. It was never enough, or it was never the right choice, or never the right time, or never the right sequence, and that's on me. I know why now. It's because I wrote all the wrong books. I made them all the wrong length. I put all the wrong words inside them. I depended on my brain and my heart and my gut and my training because I believed I had something special, that I was born for this. I was wrong. I staked my entire life's dream on something that was wrong from the get-go. Like Bridget Jones said to Mark Darcy, "You don't have to go out of your way to make me feel like an idiot. I already feel that way most of the time." The hard truth, the truth that hurts worse than going to the dentist, is that good writing is not enough. Let me say that again. The only thing I've ever been really good at is not enough. This truth hurts so badly that I have a text file saved in my Google Drive titled Suicide Note. It was just an exercise, a way to vent. But I meant every word of it. In it, I remind people not to tell kids they can grow up to be anything. They might believe you, and they might end up fooling themselves for 4 f***ing decades. I wanted to grow up to be a best-selling author. It's not gonna happen, but I sure as shit believed everyone who told me it would. That many people couldn't be wrong, could they? So I worked hard at writing, because it mattered more to me than anything else in my life, including my health, my family, my job, and my marriage. I thought that once everyone else realized what a good writer I was, I would feel good about myself. They didn't, and I don't, and now it's too late. If this all sounds pretty dark, well, it is. But here's the thing. I'm still going. I'm writing my 11th damn book. There's nothing else I'm good at, and nothing else I want to do with my life. I have exactly 2 superpowers, you guys. Turning every traffic light in front of me yellow, and making every ordinary thing look hard. Every time I get gas, I fumble to replace the stiff as shit gas cap, angling my wrist and throwing my body weight into it because I don't have enough grip strength to turn it 2 clicks to the right. "You make that look hard," the hubby says. I know. Do you think I do it on purpose? I'm not normal. Never have been. I don't know why people are still surprised by this. I told you I was 41, didn't I? But I'm still writing, because there's nothing else I want to do. Maybe my story will encourage you to start writing, or to keep writing. Not to give up, even when every metric ever dreamed up by a marketer tells you to just pull the plug. Don't stop. Don't give up. Because if we do, they win. And all I have left right now is stubbornness and the willpower not to let them take the only illusion that ever mattered from me. So now what? Clearly, I still love writing. Clearly, I'm not cut out to sell my own books. All I see are the flaws, which means marketing is an exercise in how much I can lie to myself in order to lie to you. This does not make me happy. So I've decided I'm going to keep writing, but I'm going to change the way I do things. I'm not listening to any more marketing advice. I'm not listening to anything but my heart. A year ago, I had to sit down and ask myself, what the f*** is it that you actually like? Does anything make you happy? Like, at all? Who the hell are you? Do you do anything besides die of jealousy over authors who can actually pay a bill? At the time, the answer was no. So I watched the Sacramento SPCA's weekly live shelter tour on Facebook, which some weeks is the only thing that makes me feel human again. Then I went to my bookshelves, and I looked at the books that make me, me. I asked myself what my earliest memories of reading were, and what I turned to again and again. The answer wasn't thrillers, or mysteries, or romance, or any of the things I've ever written. The answer was history. Specifically, royal history. I don't think I've ever been as happy as when I came home from El Gavilan Library with an armful of young adult biographies. Marie Antoinette, Empress Josephine, Mary Queen of Scots, Elizabeth I. These women were my gateway drugs. It wasn't until later that I discovered Nicholas and Alexandra, Empress Elizabeth of Austria, Henrietta Maria, Maria of Romania, and Empress Frederick. Why the f*** do we call her Empress Frederick? Her name was Victoria, and she was the smartest woman in Prussia for 40 years. Here, in the online post, I added a disingenuous and improperly placed footnote, which reads, "We call her Empress Frederick because she told us to," but I was on a rhetorical roll, and it felt right to ask the question. So I've decided to go back to what I love, These epic stories so full of pageantry and power and love and war and tragedy that I actually feel alive again when reading them. You may be familiar with my Tiara Tuesday posts. I indulged in these while manically trying to start a literary fire with a pile of headless matches. People commented on these posts, said they loved them, asked for more. And I said thanks, but I'm too busy working on other shit no one cares about. I had the golden ticket, a topic people wanted to hear about, that they literally begged for. And I ignored it. I can be hard of hearing sometimes, but I'm listening now. I'm taking the style and tone and content of these posts and going macro. I'm working on the story of Hilda of Baden, whose tiara was stolen from a German museum in late April of 2017. You would not believe the amazing threads I found to follow in her story. I sent my mom a tidbit about Hilda's mother-in-law that I found the other day, and Mom was like, "Are you sure? That seems weird and possibly not true." But it is, and I'm going to tell you everything. I'm also working on the story of Augusta of Brunswick, a princess who died under mysterious circumstances in a castle in Estonia. I discovered her story by working my way back through Hilda's family tree. Augusta's a detour for sure, but her story is captivating. It's full of assholes making bad decisions, but in the midst of a nightmare, a knight in shining armor arrives to save the day. And the knight's name is Catherine the Great. Seriously, you guys, this is such an awesome story, and it's never been told in English. I'm in love with these stories, these women, and this project. Maybe those other failures were just leading me here, to this point where I was forced to go back to what I loved, which was also what people asked me to do in the first place. What if all that angst could have been avoided? What if I had listened way back in 2013 when I first started writing those Tiara posts? If only, if only, if only. The worst combination of words in any language ever. But I'm not too old to fix my own mistakes. I can't wait to tell you about Hilda, her charming dad Adolf, her spirited mom Adelaide Marie, her domineering mother-in-law Louise, and her tragic niece Antonia. Sometimes history is stranger, sadder, and weirder than anything I could make up, which is why I have to share it with you. But I want to do it my way, which is pretty much drunk history meets The Crown. Are you in? Because this is really going to be a thing. I may have finally figured out what the hell I'm supposed to do with my life. But I have a confession to make. I have a master's in English, but only a bachelor's in history. I am not remotely a trained historian. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I know how to search, and I know how to work. Hard. I'm determined to dig up lost or forgotten information about these amazing royal women. Want to join me on this adventure? If so, you're invited to sign up for my mailing list. I'll update you on discoveries, sources, factoids, pictures, and stuff like that. I hate mailing lists because they're so intentional and calculated and geared to get you to buy something. But I'm not selling anything yet, and I haven't written the book yet, so this is just me and you exploring the joys and perils of becoming an amateur historian. Mostly I'll be sharing the latest historical tidbit that I'm way too excited about. Occasionally, I'll ask for stuff I need help tracking down, and beg for people who speak German to clarify some stuff that Google Translate really effed up. I love you, Google Translate. Really, I do. I need this, you guys. I need your help to convince me I can do this, and that it's worth doing, and that I'm a person worth being, and that all my ideas aren't total shit. So how about it? You've got a twofer here. A new website about fascinating royal women, and a 40-something failure, still trying to make good on those times she was voted most likely to succeed. Are you in? Thanks so much for listening. This post was intensely personal, and I won't do many of these, but it felt right to give you the background of why I started this site and pretty much gave up on my fiction. Want more royal history, full of stories about fascinating royal women and their tiaras? Join my mailing list and get a free PDF with the stories of 4 tiaras, plus Grand Duchess Louise of Baden's meatloaf recipe. I kid you not. It includes bacon if that helps. Join now at girlandthetiara.com. Until next time!